OK, West Ham reached their first European quarter-final in 41 years. A special extra-time winner that was from Andrei Yarmolenko. What a moment. What a fantastic moment, not only in terms of the context of where we are at the moment with the Ukraine situation, and it meant so much to him, but for West Ham fans, a first European quarter-final in 41 years. That is outstanding. It's amazing.
I thought it was a great night. Although West Ham fans that I know have felt for many years that I wondered were they over celebrating a little bit, because for years I've faced West Ham fans who thought they were at that level, but clearly they've understood it well enough. And yeah, last night was a great night for them. And
you can't over celebrate a night like that, can you?
Yarmolenko scoring in, when you consider what he's going through and the way that the team play. I mean, you look at Declan Rice in midfield. He owns midfield now, doesn't he? He just clamps his jaws around that midfield, played wonderfully well. Antonio at the top of the team, playing the best football of his career. They look really good at the moment, West Ham, and it was a fantastic evening. The support that they've got and the atmosphere in that stadium last night was great. Great to see West Ham finally getting some success.
Simon, what a night.
Yes, well, I mean, you're talking to me. I forecast it. I said it yesterday.
You did?
I anticipated that West Ham would go through. The only disconcerting fact for me was sitting there minding my own business in my pants last night was Lee Clayton sending me a text message, the head of talkSPORT, who's a West Ham fan, crowing, which I didn't enjoy much. But listen, we are at a stage where West Ham are competing at the top end of the Premier League. They're a very decent unit. It's no surprise to me that they're able to give Seville a very difficult game. They made
second in the Spanish League, by the way.
Who are second in the Spanish League, but not the Spanish League we've seen in previous incarnations, but irrespective of that, you've still got to beat the teams in front of you. And this is a very, very experienced European side. So you have to give credit where credit is due, which is David Moyes' team is set up. They overcame a few obstacles, but they got to where they needed to get to. So it doesn't surprise me. It, of course, provides validation for Golden Sullivan, who will bask in this reflective glory, because they've taken a lot of brickbats, and there'll still be an element of West Ham fans that won't have it. But you've got to suggest that this is a very, very good result. And there is no reason, without getting ahead of ourselves and getting all carried away with the sentimentality of an opportunity, that this side cannot go on and win this tournament.
It was a great night in Europe last night for a number of clubs, wasn't it?
Rangers
Leicester
too.
City, but Rangers.
Yep.
Rangers have managed to knock out Red Star Belgrade after knocking out Borussia Dortmund.
Yep.
I mean, that's a fantastic achievement for Giovanni Van Bronckhorst.
Well, when he beat Dortmund in the last round, no one thought that was going to be possible. They've done that. Do you want Rangers to play West Ham?
Yeah,
do we want that, or do we want that as a final? Or?
I want them to play each other in the next round, because
Why?
I don't think that either of them, I don't think both of them will get to the final.
Because
so if they're not
Barcelona
both going to get to the final, then let's see it.
I think Barcelona are the favourites for this.
I would have thought so.
I mean, people talk about West Ham. I mean, even the West Ham fans would probably realise that. But there's good teams in there. Leipzig, Frankfurt. Maybe we want be a team that West Ham might fancy playing. Braga, would be the one that
I don't think West Ham would fancy playing Rangers. Do you, Simon?
No, because the expectation level, when we've had these battles of Britain before, back in the day when we had Leeds versus Rangers, and it was always billed that the English clubs would come out dominant, and they often don't. So I don't think West Ham will particularly want that, because it's got a sort of sting in its tail, where the expectation levels will be that the Scottish Premier League isn't at the same level as the English Premier League. The difference in budgets, albeit that Rangers are a very significant team in Scotland. So I think they'd probably I'd rather that both of those sides get an opportunity to go deeper into the tournament, to the semi-finals or final, without having to draw one another at this stage. So I hope that they don't draw Rangers.
It'd be lovely to see it, though, wouldn't it? Rangers versus West Ham.
Game that would be.
But not at this stage. Not at this stage. In an ideal world, if it were a semi-final or final
if they
stage.
draw Barcelona in the next round, then the likelihood of them going through to later and deeper into the competition.
Barcelona have been no great shakes this season. While we all live in the image of Barcelona,
they look a lot better now than
they do look a lot
better,
and they're beginning to change. And of course, with the new management structure they've got in place, that and a new regime of finance that's in place, they are better. But they're still not the Barcelona of days gone past.
But you've got to admit now that they're much more dangerous now. They're cuddling, looking after Aubameyang and making him feel loved.
Making him feel loved.
Of course, yes.
You know about that, don't you?
Indeed, I do.
Player
It's
welfare,
my stock
looking
and
after
trade, Martin. Every time I come in here, I want to cuddle you, specifically around the throat.
You're the first person that's ever said that to Martin Keown. Do you think last night should serve as a real catalyst for the future? To stop the idea of these clubs like Rangers and West Ham, who haven't been at this level for a very long time. I remember the UEFA Cup final of, I think it was 2003 3, 4 was it, when in Manchester, where Rangers got to play Zenit St. Petersburg? It seems a long time ago now since they were at a European final. But like, it is at one of those situations where, you know, this might give you a little bit more encouragement.
Definitely.
That actually, when you're playing in Europe, you can achieve these
You
high
watch it for years
ambitions.
and you're kind of waiting for Rangers and Celtic to go out and all the other English teams that come in. Now they're actually making a really good fist of it. And I think actually West Ham, the way they are, the way they play, very difficult to beat. That midfield we've already talked about. And you look at some of the talented players they've got now, Fornals, Benrahma and Lanzini. They're really good little footballers, good passers.
Yeah.
And it seems to suit European football. And they're difficult to beat. There was no way they were going to lose that game last night. So they're quite a formidable opponent now, West Ham. Nobody's going to want to draw them.
Terrific performance, especially in extra time. Bearing in mind they've played so many games, they've got a small squad. In extra time, they came out and they were better than Sevilla.
But you don't ever hear that from David Moyes, do you? That's not a narrative that or a commentary that he wants to alight upon. Fixture scheduling, issues with squads, difficulty with players not being able to compete in games, because don't really hear much of that from David Moyes.
43 games, Sam, you told me this morning that West Ham have played this season.
Yeah.
And their opponents this weekend, Arsenal, have played 34.
No, they're playing Tottenham this weekend.
Tottenham this weekend. So they're really comparing that to Arsenal. They played 34.
Yeah.
He's complaining about the fixture list. So I think David Moyes is quite magnificent. I mean, there's very few changes that he makes to his 11 at the weekends. I think it might be the fewest in the Premier League.
It is.
And they just keep going from strength to strength. I thought Antonio might be a doubt for the game, Creswell as well, but somehow they got him back on the pitch. They played 120 minutes.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And they could play Atalanta, Barcelona, Braga, Eintracht Frankfurt, Leipzig, Lyon, Rangers, of course, in the next round. And we'll have the draw for that a little bit later on. Andrew Brassel is going to join us for that, and the Champions League draw as well.